When I think about this strike in 2023, I think a lot of the docudrama threads about a nuclear holocaust in Europe, specifically Great Britain, United Kingdom, Sheffield, right? Film takes place in Sheffield, fourth largest city in Great Britain, and at the time, 1984, Mick Jackson, great filmmaker. My God, this film is so powerful. It opens up with a couple that's kind of hanging out near the NATO Air Force Base. They're watching an F-14 Phantom take off, right? And there's, radio broadcast in the background talking about, unease in Iran, and all the different lives are, being documented in the first half of the film. And, the radio and TV broadcasts are getting a little bit louder. And things that are happening in Iran are getting a lot more serious. There's a power vacuum. It's almost like a proxy war between the NATO countries, the United States and Russia. And it's getting more and more intense, right? And then we follow the character who's kind of some bureaucrat, and he's getting the real deal. And it's very much more serious than people realize, right? And then, now there's full-blown military activity, right? There's essentially combat going on. The United States is sending troops, B-52 strikes, so on and so forth. There's a nuclear-tipped, anti-aircraft thing that takes out a squadron of B-52s, and the United States retaliates with a tactical nuke. And then, there's a broadcast that says, we can't confirm it yet. Again, it's 1984. They have satellites, but they don't maybe have all the details. But they think so far there may have been at least 2 tactical warheads detonated in Iran, right? And as this is going on, everybody's just kind of doing their daily stuff and so on and so forth. They're not really paying attention to everything. It's just always in the background. Oh, don't worry about that. That's just over there. It's not that big a deal until things get really serious, and then people start talking about it. And then all of a sudden, the bureaucrat is told to go underground, and all this other stuff happens. And before you know it, at about the 54-minute mark, the shit really goes off, right? There's a warhead strike at the NATO Air Force Base. A huge mushroom cloud goes up in the air, and everybody's flipping out. There's like a 10-minute siren thing, right? And all the events are compressed into just like 3 months or so, right? Very quickly, right? How does that relate to the strike? I'll get to that. So the comparison with Threads is, early on, it's just some background stuff. What happened to the music business? Oh, it's the music business, streaming and all that. We're fine. That's just the usual stuff over there. And then independent filmmakers getting these awful, horrible deals with Netflix and all these, a 3 or 4 year license period that's only 10 or 20% of the cost of the film, anywhere between 15 to 20,000. Well, when do you get paid? Right? Oh, at the end of the 3 or 4 year license period, quarterly. You have to wait 3 or 4 years to get paid. There's companies that come in and do bridge loans, right? Think the average guild member knows about that? They're on a paycheck, on a show, or a feature, whatever. They're not directly dealing with acquisitions, right? Showtime, I know a filmmaker who sold a film, couple names, $150,000 budget, sold it to Showtime. 3-year exclusive for $40,000. 3-year exclusive. The only thing she had was physical media. Now, you think the average person knew about these deals? That's kind of like the radio stuff going on in the background. That's like Iran, right? That's the stuff that's going on, and it's kind of serious. Only a few people know how serious it could be, but everybody's just like, yeah, that's, they'll figure it out. It's no big deal. And then all of a sudden, this next strike is upon us, right? You know, and then we're here, and it's like, well, it'll be the usual. It'll just be like 3 months, just like '07, and then they'll settle it, and it's no big deal, right? And before you know it, you know, the nuclear cloud, you know, the radiation, you know, the nuclear winter is upon you before you can prepare to do anything, because it's just the usual. It'll just be like the usual. It'll be like 1960. We'll just shut down the factory. We'll shut down the factory and they'll come to the negotiating table. Will they? Well, everybody was in a tizzy about the deadline piece, right? The deadline piece said October. Strike for the WGA started in May. Oh, October. That's 5 months. That's almost as long as the longest strike. You think people are prepared for 6 months? A 6-month strike? That's longer than the longest in '88. The '88 strike, 153 days. Is anybody prepared for 1 year? 1 year? I mean, when they say, oh, well, we're going to break the guild and then we're going to start negotiating in October, everybody knows the holidays come. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, town shut down. Town shut down. Why October? Why not January? Why not February? Why not a full calendar year? Why not? I mean, in that article in Deadline, it also says that Wall Street, these are the guys who are really running the show, right? You want to know who's really running AMPT? It's Wall Street. They're pleased. They're pleased that the strike is going on because it's shutting the factory down. It's cutting costs. Are people really prepared for the bloodshed that's going to happen? Is anybody talking about alternatives, a counteroffensive, doing something to fight back, bypassing them? Or are we going to just shut down the factory and just wait? Factory shut down. It's mid-July now. They should be coming back to the table any minute, right? Think about it. Are you really prepared for how bad this could get? Kind of like global warming, right? They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. It's no big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. I'm concerned about it, but, you know, we'll figure out how to get it. Here it is. Sorry, I don't hear these right-wing jerk-offs talking about it anymore. Oh, it's anthropogenic, you know, it's man-made. We don't know if it's man-made or not, you know. Maybe it's just cycles. It's normal cycles. You don't hear, I mean, even the most far-right, those guys have shut the fuck up now, right? Those dinglings, those MAGA people in Arizona and Texas. Yeah, oh, it's just normal. It's just normal. Even the GOP is admitting, because it's here, you can't argue with it. Right? What are we waiting for? Are we waiting to hit the 6-month mark before we go, oh, this might be different. Holy shit. Right? You're going to wait for the nuclear cloud? Or are you going to do something else? You're going to maybe say, okay, we shut down the factory, now what? Hey, you know what? Maybe we bypass these fucking assholes and we go right to the audience. '07, Strike TV, Dr. Singalong blog, Dr. Horrible Singalong blog. Right? Maybe we start putting together, you know, with outside finance, start to put a channel together, start putting interesting material on there, do our own version of a talk show, so on and so forth. Prove that we can go bypass them and go through AVOD or FAST, right? AVOD, ad, VOD, you know, free advertising, streaming, right? Right? We got talent, right? We got A-list writers, we got A-list actors, we got A-list writer-directors, right? What are you waiting for? Oh, you waiting for the mushroom cloud? Oh, you know, half the people weren't prepared. That's the other thing. No one was prepared. The government didn't do a very good job preparing them. They didn't want a frenzy, right? But most people are like, that's just over there. No big deal. By the time that happens, oh, yeah, we'll be fine, right? Is the guild prepared? You know, I mean, they just leaked October. That's 5 months. That's basically right at the longest strike. And all of a sudden, October, they're going to sit down at the table. You sure about that? You might want to start planning. You might want to start thinking of a counter-offensive. Go on the offensive. Come on, guys.